At 5 weeks after a mother and her boyfriend were booked on suspicion of murder after the woman's 1-year-old son was found with severe burns to his body. New questions are being raised about what authorities knew. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo live in San Bernardino County with the latest now for us. Christy.
Yeah, Marla, the 1-year-old died, as you said, earlier this month after being found unresponsive and covered in burns. Now, his paternal side of the family is raising questions. They say that both deputies and Children and Family Services failed to act despite repeated reports. Take a look. In fact, we talked to his very distraught grandmother by phone, and she tells us her 1-year-old grandson, Henry Wheatley Brown, could have been saved if authorities had followed up on her suspicions. The 1-year-old, as we mentioned, died earlier this month. His mother, Samantha Garver, and her boyfriend, Sergio Mena, have been charged with his murder. The paternal grandmother, Sierra Rivers, says more than a decade ago, she witnessed Samantha Garver hitting her then youngest child, a baby, and reported it to authorities. She says Garver, who was her son's girlfriend at the time, lost custody of her 3 kids and has had a warrant out for her arrest ever since for failing to comply with a court order in her child abuse case. Still, she says, when Garver gave birth to her grandson a year ago, the child was left in her custody, despite, she says, repeated calls to Children and Family Services.
I don't know if anything was ever followed up on, because anytime I would call, they would say, we don't have any record of you calling. And I said, I called and made a report. And they're like, well, we're sorry, we don't have a report. And this was at least a dozen times in his first 3 months, because every picture there'd be like a little mark or some kind of bruising or something, and he kept getting skinnier.
What's more, the Sheriff's Department now confirms that 3 months ago they received a call about Henry. We have an email we want to show you that we received from the department. Our questions are in black, their answers are in red. We asked them, can you confirm the welfare check? They answered, yes, we can confirm we responded to a welfare check call for service involving the victim. Was the woman, mom, arrested? They answered, no. If not, why? They answered she was not at the location, nor did she live there. Was a child abuse reported to Child Services? They answered no. The initial report indicated the injuries were a result of an accident. Now back out here live, a local resident has been quoted in the newspaper as saying that she called the Sheriff's Department because her teenager was babysitting the child and she noticed injuries that didn't make any sense. Again, Henry wasn't walking at that time, and she said it was impossible, she believed, for him to have sustained those kinds of injuries himself. Meanwhile, his paternal grandmother says she knows of at least one other encounter with the Sheriff's Department between Samantha Garver and, again, deputies, and she said they knew at the time that she had an outstanding warrant and they didn't arrest her, and she wants to know why. We should mention that we also reached out to Children and Family Services, but we were referred to the county. We're still waiting to hear back.